Hello, Shweta. It's great to be back for another session of the Memory Masters.
Hi, Sarah. Great to see you. And hello and welcome to our audience again for an amazing video today with Memory Masters. So last session, we had an incredible session where we spoke about one of the things what we spoke about were the power of having sort of negative thoughts around memory and how we actually create then sort of neural pathways that basically we confirm every time we say, I have a bad memory for this. I'm terrible with my memory. I really can't remember names. I can't remember what I read. And we just like strengthen that every time we say it over and over. And how powerfully that therefore affects any future memory in that area or just memory overall. So today we want to flip that around and talk about how we can use positive affirmations in order to enhance and supercharge our memories. So, how we can make it so that we have these positive neural connections in our mind regarding memory and develop those and really affirm those, make them thicker and stronger so that we know that actually, no, we can. Memory is our best friend. We can remember things, we can remember information, we can remember what we read, all of those things. What do you think, Sarah?
It's one of these things that I think a lot of people don't really believe is something that works. We all know that it's out there, this idea of positive affirmations, but what is actually really interesting is that there's been a lot of science behind it as well. Nowadays, with MRI scanners, you can really have a look and see what's happening when you go through positive affirmations. And it's really clear it works. There is a lot of evidence to show that a positive affirmation done well will increase your working memory and your ability to formulate a goal, to problem solve, and to put all that into place. And it makes the whole thing easier because it reduces inhibition as well. So there's an enormous amount of science behind this. It's definitely worth giving it a go.
Yeah, I mean, I've used it for years. I absolutely love my affirmations. I love sitting down every day and almost putting myself into a state where I'm visualizing, enhancing my memory, being good at certain things. And the feeling I get around that is therefore less anxiety when I'm faced with having to remember a novel piece of information or remembering that list of things I have to do today. So that lessening of the anxiety, the stress around it, the feeling of I can do it really does get enhanced. And it's certainly something that I enjoy, that state of putting myself into feeling positive around memory definitely is supports my relationship with my memory, I suppose.
Yeah, are you sort of saying that it feels like you've got a concrete proof that you're taking responsibility for what you want to do and what you want to have happen?
Yeah, I think you're right. That is very much what is happening without me having realized it. But it is taking responsibility for our memory. It's that sense of, well, no one's going to do it for me. I can't expect my teachers to do it for me, my parents to do it for me, my partner to do it for me. I have to take responsibility for my own memory and for how I feel about my memory. If I'm going to put myself constantly into a state of anxiety around memory or stress about memory and make myself feel bad for not remembering information, then actually what I'm doing is I'm putting myself into a victim mindset, which is never going to support me in any memory related activities going forward. So you're right, it is about me taking responsibility for my memory and saying, no, I'm going to feel good about it. I'm going to have a good relationship with it, create positive affirmations, a positive feeling and energy around my memory activities, and therefore build my memory.
Yeah, and if we were going to look at a positive affirmation, what are the key components of it? I mean, it has to be something that you believe in, something which it is possible for you to achieve. You can't just have a positive affirmation which is so huge it's never going to work out. Um, what else would be an important element of it?
Oh, those are two really good ones, actually. Yeah, you're right. It is very much a case of, well, I can't start huge. I couldn't. You can't start with thinking, oh, I've got this entire textbook for physics and I'm going to remember the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. And so making it chunkable and achievable, manageable, realistic, makes it more positive. It feels more like something I can do
Yeah.
and
So it's
create
got to be
something.
something more like, I I believe that I can study for a certain period of time, or I believe that I can do something which is a little chunk of belief and build it up. Is that
Yeah,
right? Yeah. And
absolutely.
also it's good to have an affirmation which stretches into the future a little bit. You know, I believe that I can get an A grade because I believe that I can study a little bit every week. That sort of thing.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And it's also really important to remember your intention behind these affirmations. Going back to that intention video, intention is so, so important. Why are you trying to remember this information? Is it because you have to, or is it because you want to? And that will really affect your affirmation around this. I'm really good at remembering this information because I really want to remember this information, as opposed to, oh, I have to remember this information. I'm really good at remembering this information because I have to remember it. That's not really going to be creating those good feelings around it. Your hormones, your body doesn't react in the right way for that memory. And then also, like you said, having that view of the future and having the belief and mindset to achieve that by creating the affirmations now, it can be really powerful because actually you're reaffirming that every single day, and therefore you are working towards that every single day, as opposed to today I'm going to do this and then that's it. That might not work as well as having that long-term goal and plan in
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I guess our challenge um, now is going to be to try out a positive affirmation. Um, it could be anything. What would you suggest, Shweta?
I would say I think everyone needs to try out this positive affirmation by believing and saying, I will contact Sara and Shweta today.
Absolutely.
And you can do this by going into the description below and visiting our events page. Now, this events page is amazing because it gets updated regularly. There are always events on, workshops coming up, and also details, both of our details, so that you can contact us one-to-one if you prefer, rather than being in a big group setting. We have workshops coming up, which are much larger and in person. There are online things coming up as well. There's events where you can interact with us in smaller groups. So there's a lot of different options, and throughout the year, different events will be up. So do visit our events page. Set that affirmation right now that you will be attending one of our events and supercharging your own memory.
That sounds great. Yeah. We look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey, and look forward to lots of new content as well.
Yeah.